Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. We will try to explain about Down syndromes and radiation. The work of Dr. Iden Uchida. My name is Muhammad Ron Maulana.
My name is Vikas Androni.
And my name is Iskar Singapur.
Okay, so we can go to the first explanation. Next, okay. Down syndrome. Down syndrome first described in 1866 by the English physician John Langdon Down. Physical traits associated like a short stature, a prominent forehead, a short and broad neck, rough and dry skin, short stubby hand, and broad single crease across the palm of the hand. The tongue is usually large. The upper eyelids have an extra fold skin. Next. In the past, they were normally kept in institution, but in this days, many parents have found that they can learn to bring up a child with Down syndrome themselves. Next. The mother's age. So this is the first problem that we that usually encounter in Down syndrome. In the early 1930s, L.S. Penrose in English genetic point out that Down syndrome children are born much more frequently when the mother is relatively old. Probably range from 1 to 2000 when the pregnant woman was 20 to over 1 to 12 when she was 49. Joarame Legioni in 1959 said that people with Down syndrome have an extra chromosome. Next. Abnormalities in chromosomes. Dr. Uchida, this is the another problem that can be in Down syndrome. Abnormalities in chromosomes. Dr. Uchida also knew about another study in 1930s on fruit flies showed that female fruit flies exposed to radiation produce a high proportion of offspring with defective chromosomes. Age alone wasn't enough. Only the older fruit flies, which had been exposed to radiation, produced the abnormal offspring. This result suggested that radiation might be responsible for the extra chromosome in people with Down syndrome. If the number chromosome reached 21, the child would have Down syndrome. The first Manitoba study. Not all the children of mother exposed to radiation would be affected because not all cells are damaged. Even if some of the mother chromosomes had been affected, any child who did not receive an abnormal cell would be normal. Many of the mothers of children with Down syndrome told the investigator about heavy doses of medical radiation received before conception of the affected child. The results were highly suggestive. Next.
Okay, we're going to talk about the second Manitoba study and from the Department of Radiology at the Winnipeg General Hospital. The three researchers recorded the names of married women under 60 exposed to abdominal X-ray examination of fluoroscopies between 1956 up to 1959. And then the second is they set out to find these women and to learn if and when any of them had given birth to a Down syndrome child. And then if radiation indeed causes Down syndrome, the children conceived after radiation will turn out to be more likely to have Down syndrome than those conceived before exposure. And then work with laboratory mice, okay. On the other, where the result of studies on fruit fly chromosomes, but the mechanism for meiosis is quite different in fruit flies and humans. And then to provide a link between these two kinds of study, a direct investigation was needed of the chromosomes of an animal much more similar to human than fruit flies are. And then an animal in which meiosis processed by the same mechanism as in humans. For the last is Fujita and Lee counted the number of chromosomes in female Okaitie cells the immature egg cell formed during meiosis. And then the direction for the future, Dr. Uchida comments about her mouse experiments. This one is the experiments from Dr. Uchida, and the reason is similar experiments are difficult in humans for obvious reasons. And then in 1984, Dr. Uchida, still at Lancaster University, was counting her work on the problem. And then the effect, what is the effect? The effect of the radiation on other chromosomes, site number 21, are also being investigated by studying the chromosomes of miscarried babies and their parents. Yeah, we're going to talk about the principle and will be presented by Saad.
And then the next we are talking about the principles. The principle of causality. The Fratellis Down syndrome is the most common of the severe bed abnormalities. About 1 child in 7,000 is born with it. As a result, many physicians and medical researchers have devoted themselves to investigating this condition. And the principle of consistency, the first step in their Justida investigation was to make sure that in 1930, fruit fly study was valid. The principle of continuous discovery. Since the Manitoba study, the number of other similar investigations have been carried out in the United States, England, Iceland, Japan, and Denmark. In many cases, the results were inconclusive. Not enough cases were investigated to resolve the question one way or other, but almost all shows in same tendency. And then the principle of objectivity. Jussier and Lee used a new technique involving laboratorium mice. They counted the number of chromosomes in female oxide cells. Then immature egg cells formed during the meiosis. Thank you.
Okay, I think everything is clear enough from our presentation, so that's all. Thank you very much for your attention, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.